We have a social media question from Shonda, and here's the question. I can't seem to reconcile how suffering today relates to grace. There are plenty of Bible scriptures or verses in the New Testament that talk about how the believer will take up his cross and suffer for being followers of Christ, as the disciples did. How does this relate to grace? Well, who said you had to suffer? Listen, the Bible uses a phrase in the New Testament, talks about the fellowship of his sufferings. Now, the fellowship of his suffering is, first of all, that word fellowship comes from another English word, participation. In other words, Jesus had his part in the fellowship of suffering, and we have our part in the fellowship of suffering. His part was to go to the cross, to suffer everything he suffered, to be beat with a cat of nine tails, all that kind of stuff. But certainly God's not requiring that of me. My part of the fellowship of his suffering is to maintain the victory that he suffered to obtain. So Jesus suffered and went through all those afflictions to obtain the victory. My part is to stand and to maintain the victory that Jesus obtained. So in this life, it's not us, having to suffer because we're following Christ. What it is because I follow Christ and I believe in the finished works of Jesus and the grace of God that's made everything available, I now in faith stand against all of those things that are trying to contradict or say I can't have what Jesus died for me to have. So don't ever forget that the fellowship of his sufferings is us doing our part to maintain the victory that Jesus died to obtain. Thank you for that question, and I pray that it helps and blesses you.
Submit your questions on social media. Follow us online today and stay connected.